Guys, what's up? I hope you can hear me okay. But I'm gonna try to do something a little different this time. I'm gonna do a quick street ride video on this CB300r. It's a really good looking bike. I mean, I really like the kind of dull gold wheels along with the kind of blue tank. Initial reactions, just riding it around, this bike feels like a really comfortable, almost like a Grom on steroids. But besides that, I mean, the bike has a lot of pep. And that single cylinder thumper, it's a pretty nice little torque machine here. Like in first gear, it almost wants to stand up, but this really is a pretty good looking bike. I mean, I really do like the colors, and the riding position is really comfortable, and it's peppy like a thumper. It's only a 300, but I think the torque is what makes bikes fun. See, this guy will. That's the one thing I notice in my truck when I'm driving around the city, but even more so on a motorcycle, is how many people are just, everyone's on their phones. So even just riding around like this, I'm a little bit wary. Probably going to be a super defensive rider. But I mean, this bike, going around your neighborhood, just commuting shorter in the city, I mean, this bike would be perfect. This bike really would be perfect for that. I really forgot what it's like to be around cars on a motorcycle, just because I've only been racing and doing track days. But it's a little alarming, you know. Whenever I see a car on track, it's usually an ambulance or maybe a safety truck or safety car. And just having to be around them commuting around is definitely, I don't know how street guys do it. Even though I did it myself for, I don't know, 12, 15 years. But it is interesting. And I forgot it was standard shift again. I'm so used to GP shift. But I mean, look, this bike has more than enough pep. I'm a big guy, and just getting around cars, going uphill, I mean, this is more than enough bike for the street, I would say. I mean, I don't know if you would be very popular doing any racing, but I think against 300s, this bike is really fun. I mean, I'm doing 70 right here, no problem. The bike doesn't seem to be straining, or it's kind of just cruising. I'm in a 6th gear doing 60 miles per hour. So I think riding around in the street and stuff, this is a really comfortable, easy bike to ride. I mean, it just flicks around. I mean, you can see the bike's just like super, super agile. Matter of fact, when I was wheeling it out of the garage, I really felt like I was just pushing around like a BMX bike or something. That's kind of what it felt like. And let some of this traffic go through, so maybe I can come through the corner with a little bit more speed. It should be okay. This is for Houston. These are type, I actually like this corner, but these are the type of corners you get in Houston. But I actually like these corners because they're flatter, they're not banked. But as you can see, man, the bike's actually really stable, super nimble. I mean, I'm just rolling these corners like, the bike's just really agile. It's almost like you think about where you want to go and the bike will take you there. But in a situation like this where you're around these big trucks and you're just trying to get out of there, it feels a little bit underpowered, but not bad. I mean, I got out of there, I'm in 6th gear doing 70 miles per hour, and it feels fine. I mean, the bike's just cruising. This motor is really strong, and I've ridden 300s before, R3s and stuff, and this almost feels like the torque makes it feel faster than it is. I think torque is what makes the vehicles in general, but motorcycles in particular, I think it's what makes motorcycles fun. So I'm gonna do a little bit of hard braking right here. Yeah, I mean, this bike is fun. It really is fun. I mean, the brake feels really good. Maybe get a little wheelie out of this thing. Pretty not bad. We'll spin it around one more time and do this little loop. Again, it has a bunch of corners. But I mean, this bike definitely gets up and goes. I mean, it's a good little machine. You can see I'm going through traffic and no problems at all. I mean, it's moving pretty good for just going through traffic. Call this the road test track because you get a little bit of everything. You get some freeway speeds here, and the bike's actually not bad on the freeway. I mean, it's way better than a Grom would be, which is essentially this bike's little brother. And I'm just gonna roll into this corner, and I mean, it feels very well sorted here. So I can go around the outside of this. Feels weird passing a car on the outside, not a bike. I mean, the bike definitely feels really good in the corners. I'm very pleasantly surprised, I guess you could say. And this is my biggest fear in the street, is like being rear-ended. Someone's not paying attention on their phone. Right here, and we got a clean little bit of space. So let's flip around. See if we can do it again real fast. Go a little faster on this one. Oh yeah. Kind of did a little bit of trail braking on that one, and the bike feels good. I mean, it feels really freaking good, honestly. It's a fun little bike. And I would say if you're contemplating getting a Grom or maybe something similar just to mess around or in the streets, or maybe even practicing wheelies and clutch ups, that type of stuff, I honestly think this might be the better option, only because you have a little bit taller profile, so I think vehicles can see you better, and you can see better as well. On the Grom, you're so low to the ground, there's not much you'll be able to really see being that low, and people won't see you in the rear view mirrors, etc. And so I think if you're looking to get something on a super entry level biker, maybe just a bike to go to the gas station or the grocery store, this is a way better machine for that. I mean, I think it kind of hits a lot of marks, and you could even take it to the go-kart track and I think have a lot of fun. Once you get around these people. So when you're accelerating at speed like that, I mean, there's a slight lag. It's not bad though. I mean, what can you expect? It's a 300. But I will say the single cylinder 300 has a little bit more get up and go, I guess, if you will, than the R3 or the MT-03, which would be the exact competitor to this bike. I just think those bikes, they rev out a little better, but this one seems to give you the power when you want it. And even there, shall break in, no traffic, open it up. Yeah, this bike is fun, man. I'm liking this little bike. And, you know, I'm cruising around highway speeds. Whoop! Hey, caught a little bit of air on that. That's pretty fun. I mean, this feels like almost like a dirt bike that's a little bit better sorted for the streets, with its power delivery, etc. It almost feels a bit more like a supermoto. I think this cafe racer platform, I guess you could call it, or a naked street bike, entry level street bike, this might be the best bike in the class. I mean, hands down, I think it's the best looking bike. But I mean, this is I'm very pleasantly surprised and impressed with this little machine. And you can see I'm just like not having to try very hard to maintain the freeway speeds here. You should save all your speed thrills for the street, for the track, not for the street. See if I go around the outside this dump truck. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but we'll find out in a second. But man, this bike through the corners, it's really freaking nice. Man, it's fun. This is a fun bike. If you're a beginner, this should be a great bike to learn on and grow on, honestly. There we go. Had to force it maybe. But I mean, if I was gonna own a street bike, even with my years of racing on big bikes, this bike is honestly one of a really fun, perfect street bike. It kind of does everything you need it to do. I mean, I think if you went on a Sunday cruise with your friends, even if they had 600s, as long as they're not doing anything crazy, you could definitely keep up and enjoy riding with them. And then once you get into the twisties, I mean, even the riding position's comfortable, but I mean, you can really move on this bike nicely. Pretty fun. So Honda did a good job with this bike. It's very well sorted, to be honest. I mean, even if you were just commuting a few miles on the highway to work, this bike will be fun. Now, long distance, I don't know, but I think for commuting for a few miles on the highway to work, I mean, this would be fine. This is a great little bike. Whoop, stoppy. But yeah, guys, so all in all, the street ride, I'm really impressed with this bike. I think it does a little bit of everything, and kind of ticks a bunch of boxes. So I'm definitely more on the team of you don't need a lot of power, a lot of displacement for the street. You know, you don't really need it. So I think this bike, for a street bike, just riding around the street, around your neighborhood, maybe commuting to work, or in the city especially, this bike would be really a lot of fun and super easy to ride. You wouldn't have to think about much. Man, just cannot get used to that standard shift. That's what's crazy. I don't even understand, because standard shift doesn't even make sense. If you think about it, whenever you're braking, your foot naturally does this. So it's because your weight transfers forward and your toe goes down naturally. So the tendency is to want to go up to essentially slow the bike down or shift down because of the position that your body would be in when you're braking. And then vice versa, when you're accelerating, your foot's on top of it, on more like a straight position. So pushing down on the lever would essentially make sense to want to upshift. So I don't really understand. I just did it again. I don't really understand it. So right now, when I start braking, you know, my foot goes down. It's almost natural. Your weight goes forward. But now I have to pick my foot up and press down, when I should be way easier if I could just press up, you know? And then same thing for this. It's like, especially when you're riding fast, you want to just push down, click gears downward so you can go faster. This doesn't really make much sense, but that's just my 2 cents on it. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed it, and that's it for the street ride.